are not allowed. But the NFL sportsmanship is displayed at all times. Congratulations and good luck to both teams and their coaches. Our class out contest today is between number 1 Enfield High School and number 5 ranked Darien High School. Here tonight's storyline, beginning with the team marked visitor on the scoreboard. The Darien Blue Wave, coached by Mo Minikis and assisted by Sherry Ramsey, entered tonight with an 18-2-1 record. Your starting lineup. In goal, senior Erica Blaze. Sophomore number 1, Molly Hellman. Senior quad captain number 2, Sally Cassidy. Senior number 6, Carrie Blatney. Senior number 8, Lindsay Wallach. Senior quad captain number 11, Kendall Wazinski. Senior quad captain number 12, Sydney Schrenker. Junior number 13, Bridget Mahoney. Junior number 16, Shay Vandenbroek. Junior number 22, Katie Elders. And senior quad captain number 23, Kiki Tropsa. And now the Enfield Eagles, coached by Cookie Bromwich and assisted by Amy Bartholomew and Sarah Pliska. Enfield enters tonight with an 18-0 record. Your starting lineup. Senior quad captain number 1, Taylor Giglione. Senior number 4, Alyssa Haskins. Senior number 6, Jessica Muslin. Senior number 9, Elizabeth Collins. Sophomore number 17, Giona Montigny. Junior number 18, Caitlin Bork. Junior number 20, Anna Renee Labach.
No, keep it like you have it. That looks sharp. That looks sharp. Keep it like you have it.
Senior quad captain number 22, Larissa Montigny. Junior quad captain number 23, Tori Giglione. Senior quad captain number 27, Michaela March. And in goal, junior number 62, Kelly Mazza. Ladies and gentlemen, we got a treat for you this evening.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. Oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in
A production of the Darien Athletic Foundation, we bring you Class L semifinals between Darien Blue Wave and the Enfield Eagles. Hello, everybody. I'm Brennan Ross. Alongside me, Sky Wazinski, and the famous Carrie Johns, coach of the JV girls field hockey team. Coach, nice job out there. That was amazing. Unmute you. There you go.
Thanks so much.
I think she's got a few more fans here in Cheshire, Connecticut. I'll tell you what.
She made her mark tonight.
I think I just saw the football team walk over and said, "Who is singing there?"
Yeah.
That's that really beautiful rendition, Kari.
Thank you so much.
So tonight we have, like I said, the Enfield Eagles coming in first, ranked number 1 in the Class L, coming up against number 5 Darian, led by Coach Minikis. Wave's had a good season this year so far, coming off of a FCAC championship win, beating Wilton.
You know, Brendan, I'd say as a coach, and you tell me, Kari, obviously played on the U.S. national team, you live, breathe field hockey, but as a coach, you want your kids peaking at the right time. Am I right when I say that?
Absolutely. These girls have done such a good job of really pulling together as a team. We talk about all the time about the team effort that it takes. There are 10 strong players, 1 strong goalkeeper, and they're in it together, as all the teams are, but these are truly sisters this year.
I think they've not a lot of superstars. They share the ball. They look for each other, and looks like Enfield's going to get the first touch here.
Yeah, so it looks like Enfield has the pass back, Darian defending on so going from your screen, it'll be left to right, Darian defending on the right side. It's Kiki Tropsa just mistraps the ball, but a stick obstruction, and Enfield. So Darian having an opportunity to move the ball, and we have Bridget Mahoney just taking the ball, sending a nice flat ball over to the right. We always want to try to work the ball around the outside for field hockey, and there's a nice cutback.
Now, Kari, as you look at the field, is Darian more right now setting up in a more defensive mode or more offensive mode?
No, I don't think so. Enfield is not hanging anyone up just yet, so they're just being aware, holding their shape. Defensively, you always keep the field a little bit smaller. Offensively, when you gain possession, you open the field up a little bit more. I think they're playing pretty strong. You know, you see the defenser was just a double team right there, which is really good. Sent that ball out the right side, and you know, see as they go along. As you know, Darian is great both offense and defensively. So,
obviously, Enfield and Brendan, I think you probably did a little research here on Kelly Mazza, the goaltender for. From what I understand, she's allowed 2 goals the entire season for Enfield today.
Yeah, she's a really good goalie. Looking at their schedule, many of their games are 2-0 wins, 1-0 wins, so a lot of shutouts for the Eagles of Enfield.
yeah, we saw that. We noticed that it's going to be a great competition so far. You know, no circle entry on either team, which is good, but ball just being played so far on the Enfield offensive half inside the 50. But Darian just getting a breakaway here, able to get down the right side, and as you know, so speedy. That ball goes ahead by Sydney Schranker, and Molly Hellman gets a great touch in it. But the defense right there is there for Enfield and able to get that out. Ball lifted up.
I like that aerial. It you know, gets it in the zone. It allows them to everybody basically take a shot at that ball. Was that the idea there, Kari?
Yeah, I think so. Enfield just did a great job clearing that ball out. Nice strong clear out to the left. Yeah, an aerial ball when it's lifted, it's a strategic ball. If it's into 2 players, it's a turnover. If the intended receiver receives, you've got to give that player 5 yards. So it can be a real strategic move depending on how it falls on the field.
You know, I know we've seen some coaches this year who basically are stacking the box against Darian. They're trying to score early,
yes,
and then just basically play it back.
Play defense. Yeah.
But you know, that's one thing I think Coach Minikis and Sherry they've been focusing on is use your speed, use your athletes, play some of the longer ball this year, but try to get on the board first.
Yeah, you know, again, especially against a team like Enfield, they are, you know, we haven't seen them a lot. Obviously, they're in a different conference. They're obviously a strong team, you know, with not a lot of goals on. Obviously, mentally, if you can get a goal on them, you know, who knows what that does to an opponent. You know, a few years when we had quite a few shutouts, and, you know, I remember that first loss was pretty painful. Not that it's a bad thing, but it's almost a great pickoff by Molly Hellman.
Look like a halfback there.
Yeah.
You know, maybe your brother Brendan there. You know, watching Notre Dame football, looked like he was going for a pick 6.
I like that. Yeah. Coming off that loss last weekend.
Oh. Bridget Maloney tried to take that ball away, but she had come from behind, so the umpire looked at that as a stick obstruction foul from behind. So Enfield moving the ball nicely, but you see Katie Eldridge with her stick down. There's great support by Kiki Tropsa in the back, and so she's going to find a nice flat pass It's a
nice.
great ball movement there. She just changed the point of attack from left to right, and now maybe they can get something going offensively.
That's Tropsa to Vanderbrook, 2 one-touch passes. Both are ice hockey players, and when you talk about a team player, I think Kiki Tropsa epitomizes that.
Yeah.
3-sport athlete here at Darien High School, 2, captain of the field hockey and ice hockey teams, and one heck of a lacrosse player as well.
She's just a phenomenal athlete, and she's so poised, she's so modest. She's a great kid, as you know, all around. So that was a great job of Enfield getting circle entry, and Darian wants to try not to give up a corner, even more importantly, a goal. There's a little scramble in front of the cage. Darien defense staying nice and low, but Enfield's still on.
Enfield's playing very well.
Yep, has that ball in her backhand. She's going to try to get it front
Erica's
stick. Erica
down.
Blaze with a good save, and ball coming out.
Darien and Black working right from left tonight. The Enfield Eagles are working left to right, or left to right. Sorry, Waves working right to left.
Sally Cassidy working the sweeper spot for Darien. I know that was a recent move, and I think she's brought some speed to that defense, Kari. Was that the idea?
Yeah, as you know, Sally was a forward as her sisters Lily and Georgia.
Sorry, speaking of speed, look at this ball.
Yeah,
Just
ball
move
coming
up.
down.
On net. Ooh.
A nice save by the keeper.
save.
But there's another shot on goal. Looks like it found a foot. Should be a corner.
There you go. Sid the Kid Shrinker. Just she and what I call, I'll tell you what, that twosome right there. They're fast and faster.
They are fast and faster. They're fantastic group together. So just while we were talking about Cassidy, Lily, shout out to Lily and Georgia. Hi at home. Glad you're able to watch us. Not enjoying the cold, but we say hello to our former BWFH players.
First corner of the night.
Kind of fun. And by the way, we'll talk in a second.
Kiki drops an insert. She's going to find Bridget Mahoney at the top. Bridget does a nice little move around. 2 moves here. She's trying a reverse, but not getting out back to her front stick. And Enfield able to get that ball. It looks like there just was a little bit too much playing with that ball. She eliminated the first defender and probably should have got that ball in right away. Now, as you can see, Darien, if they can attack here, they have a few numbers up. Enfield with a nice little give-it-go in the center, but it finds a foot. If Darien can take this ball quickly, Bridget Mahoney's right on it, and she goes wide left and finds Molly. And as we know, Molly's super speedy.
Boy, Molly's coming off her best game, in my opinion.
Oh, she was
that game the other night in
fantastic.
Norwalk was just all over every shot. Wow. Fast and furious, down by the cage.
Another ball just wide of the mouth of the cage. No one there to get that ball in, but there's a great shot back in a one-time. And if somebody...
Just a bit outside, as Bob Euchre used to say. A lot of action, fast and furious early in this game.
Yeah, so Darien answering back to Enfield's first circle entry. Darien able to get at least one corner. Now Enfield having an opportunity to clear this ball out. They don't have too many players up, but you see Darien holding a few players back, kind of falling back on the press. Some great stick work there by captain number 1, Taylor Gigaloni. I want to make sure I'm saying that right. I'm not sure I'm sorry if I butchered your name, Taylor. That is a fantastic ball. It was off Enfield, so that should be a... Apparently it was not off of Enfield. It looked like she had touched that, but we did. So that's a 25-yard hit. That's going to have to move 5 yards before she enters into the circle. And she did a great bit of stick work again. That's number 23.
Ball
Sister.
right on net there. Wow.
It's a great clear.
Erica was coming out to try to kick to save that. They've had a few balls dangling in front of that net early for Enfield. Testing Erica Blaze early.
Yeah, this looks like it's going to just be a great match, and whoever strikes and stays strong. She did carry that ball 5 yards. That ball is just going to go over the end line, a 16-yard hit. So we saw the Gigaloni sisters bring this ball down, Taylor and Tori. They've done a great job. It's almost picked off.
I was looking at the Enfield lineup when they had the 2 starting lineups out there.
Yeah, 2 set of sisters.
Yeah, they're sisters, but Enfield does not have a big bench. Looked like there was a few players hurt. I'm not exactly sure, but
That looks like a stick foul. Yeah.
this ball. If this game goes up and down the field like it is right now,
There's some subs.
Yep.
Darien with another opportunity on goal. Unfortunately, no one could get a touch on that ball. It's been close on both sides. Both teams having an opportunity here. Darien falling back again on the press here, allowing a lot of room to carry, and Enfield relies on that big ball. So I think it's a smart play by Darien. That was just, Katie didn't string that ball exactly how she wanted to.
To give you guys at home who are listening and watching right now, Enfield is coming off a victory over, was it Fairfield Ludlow?
Fairfield Ludlow, yeah, they beat 1-0. They scored in the first 6 minutes, and Ludlow wasn't able to adjust. They played a little bit of a different game up here, and Ludlow just wasn't able to adjust to their style of play.
But again, we beat Ludlow 1-0
Yes.
or 2-1 earlier
Yes.
this year, so
Yep.
it just goes to show you that we've got two very, very competitive teams here.
Absolutely. And we talk about the FCIAC and how strong it is and how every team, that's a pretty strong stick foul, but there was no disadvantage there, so the umpire's just going to let that go. Molly's cutting back for that ball, and that's a great little touch in, but just maybe a little bit too much. That was a great stick work by Taylor again.
What I noticed about Molly
step up.
Hellman last week was, she was working up the sideline. She was
Yes.
going through 3 people, just giving short little touches, but
Yep.
then was just, pulling the ball back and really, created about 4 or 5 different corners. And again, I thought she played her best game of the year.
Yeah, we talked, Molly's just a sophomore, so again, having that ability. And then against Nora Rec, we had little Tessa, who's just a freshman. So seeing the ability of these young players who are playing club and getting those opportunities is really nice to see. Oh, that's a great ball. Maybe that ball wide out to Kiki. There's Molly again, as you just said. She used her body so well. And she just shielded the opponent, and then she gets her stick on, sends that ball in. Great save by goalkeeper Kelly Mazza. She gets a great clear on that. And Darian able to go in. They're inside the 25, so again, ball needs to be carried 5. That was a great... and a goal by Darian!
Could be goal of the year right there. Holy cow. Carrie Blatney ripped a shot from the 20-yard line, and I'm not exactly sure who tipped that thing in, but it went right corner.
Molly. I think that was Molly Hevman. That was a fantastic goal. Carried that bar, saw the opportunity, sent it in, and it was a fantastic tip right over Kelly Mazza's head.
Well, you can scratch my back with a hacksaw. That's, boom goes the Blue Dynamite up here with 20-23 left in the first half. Darien strikes first. We've got a good one on hand and a very confident right now, just looking at the body language of that Darien team in black, they're going to be going hard.
That was a fantastic goal. I would expect nothing less from Enfield to come out hard and heavy. They, obviously, as we talked about, they haven't been scored on a lot this year, so that's got to sting a little bit. And, I'm sure they're a very tenacious team, so they're going to want to come back right away. And as you know, a one-all bowl game is not a lot to sit on, so we're just going to see how they answer back and how Darian... it's a great goal by Molly.
I'll tell you what, I got to give Carrie Blatney a lot of credit, man. She just stepped and ripped that thing. And, Molly stuck beautiful angle on her stick. Now we got some more.
Yeah, there's a corner. That should absolutely be a corner.
There you go.
Coach,
There
it's
it
a bit
is.
chilly down here tonight. How is the play affected with that weather?
Friday was so cold, the girls couldn't feel their fingers. It was probably 0 degrees with the wind chill factor.
Is it true that Katie Elders broke that ball in half on
In the
pre-game?
warm-up.
That's what I
I
heard.
believe she did. Yeah, the cold. Molly Hellman had said, as good as you said she was playing guy, Molly Hellman could not even feel her fingers.
Yeah.
So thank God we were in the booth with a heater.
Yeah.
I was out, and actually, kudos to you, Brendan Ross, going down and doing that after-game interview with Mo Minikis. I wasn't sure you were going to hold on to that
Yeah.
That was a
handheld
lot of fun,
mic.
yeah.
So brave. There's Kiki Traps with another insert. They slipped that ball right. A little bit of a mistrap.
Katie
Enfield on the
Elders
ball.
keeping it in.
Yep. And
Shot.
There's another
Block.
save. And Darian with an opportunity again.
Save.
Another save by Kelly Mazza. And another shot again, lifting the ball. Darian, it looks like, that ball's coming out. Kiki, Sydney couldn't get her feet around, and so it went in, and Enfield's going to have an opportunity to get this ball out.
Looks like Enfield was on their heels a little bit there. And, Darian, again, applying pressure. Great stop right there by Katie Elders.
Fantastic. You just needed there's a little bit. Now that's off Enfield, so that's going to be a 25-yard hit coming in.
Boy, the Big Green up in Dartmouth, they're getting one heck of an athlete in Katie Elders. Going to, could probably play either sport, but committed as a freshman in high school to Dartmouth to play lacrosse. And she is just, she's a world-class athlete.
Fantastic and so strong. I mean, she's got such a physique on her, and she's just such a strong athlete. Great kid, as you know, Guy. All these girls are just, phenomenal athletes, good people.
As nice as they are, good athletes.
Yeah. Another ball in, another great save by Kelly Mazza. I think she's probably had more saves today than maybe most of her games. That was a great block
Bridget
tackle.
Mahoney right there.
Yeah, but Enfield right there did hit a foot.
Now, let me ask you this. We saw that in the Staples game where the goaltender kicked it out, but that was outside the circle, correct? So, or was that tipped? So she actually didn't even have to make a save on that?
If it comes from outside the circle and no one's there, no, she doesn't have to make the save. It'll be their ball coming out. That looks like it was off the foot as well. Yeah, and another corner for Darian.
Wow.
So if the ball's coming outside the circle, it has to be touched by an offensive stick inside the circle to be considered a goal. But, I think Kelly's probably under a lot of pressure right now. Maybe hasn't been under this much, so I don't think she's going to take anything lightly.
And I'm looking down that bench. I look at, players like Hannah Regal. You've got a bench full of the Megan Smiths.
Yes.
They're all ready to come in.
Already.
So they're going to keep their fresh legs, and Darian goes deep.
Here's Kiki Tropsa interning again. A little bit of different. She's going to take the ball to Kendall Wazinski, who slips it all the way wide right and not quite a shot off. But Molly comes back with the ball. Really great job. Another great save by Kelly Mazza. And you see Enfield defense just really strong and low. Sticks down. Also, their offensive players that come from the 50 recovered so nicely. So they're packed in and they're ready to not allow this ball to go in again on Darien. So Darian's going to have to work hard.
While the ball is out, we want to give a quick shout out to the Darien Foundation, formerly Darien. The Darien Technology Foundation, who donated $800,000. Let me say that again, $800,000 for the fields, the lights, and we wouldn't be doing this broadcast if it wasn't for them. And the gentleman sitting next to me, Brendan Ross, who's a senior at Darien High School, who has coordinated this entire broadcast. He's announcing, he does it all, but the setup on this, doing your homework, your studies.
Thank you.
Good stuff there, Brendan.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, you have a career here starting early.
Coach, as you looked to earlier, the depth on this team is one of our secret weapons, I guess you could say, behind Elders, who scored that winning goal last game, and Mahoney.
Yes.
What can you say about that?
Scoring the goal?
Or just in general, the depth is just...
The depth on the team, Mo Minicus is such a great coach where, the players are developed as a team. We don't rely on one player to be the star. Everyone has a role, and the ball moves quickly. With 10 people on the field, one goalkeeper, that ball needs to be able to be passed from the left back to the right forward at any given moment. So everyone needs to support each other. And, Mo does a really good job of not having anyone superstar. They're all strong in their own right. They all bring something to the table. And all the girls know that about each other.
I think we saw that down the stretch of the season here. We've had, some injuries. Katie Elders went down early.
Yep.
Next man up. Kendall Wazinski went down for a couple of games. Next person up. And I'll tell you what, it's an opportunity, and that bench goes really, really deep. And it's a credit to Mo, Sherry, you, Kari, the youth program, because it just keeps coming. And like you said, from a club standpoint, you're getting these girls, and we're seeing them at Norwalk, we're seeing them at Staples, we're seeing them at Wilton. These girls are playing year-round. They're going to play in college. I think we graduated 4 or 5 girls from last year's team. We're all playing in college right now, and
Absolutely.
It's a real competitive program.
Yeah, and again, it's a real team sport. We have other girls that play other sports, and they always come back to say they feel like it's such a great family for field hockey, and they really enjoy it. And again, it doesn't hurt to have a fantastic group of girls.
Yeah.
Year after year, they always never cease to amaze us. They just come with everything, bring everything, and they're here to support each other, whether they're just on the bench and not necessarily having a starting role. They're there to support each other.
We see it at the pasta dinners when they're together, and they get along. And I'll tell you what, we've had a few of them at our house, and a lot of kids dancing in our kitchen this year. It's been a lot of fun. But speaking of family, I'm just going to give a quick shout out to my dad. I know it sounds self-serving. He's 85 years old. He stepped down as the commandant of the New Hampshire Marine Corps League recently. All Veterans Day, he was all the troops were coming in from Afghanistan and Iraq, and he's put together a group who greets them with their families as a surprise in Marriott hotels, puts them up, brings their families in, and kind of nice. We're here in Cheshire, Connecticut. My dad is in the Hall of Fame at Cheshire Academy, and a couple years ago, my daughter was taking a picture. She was there to play lacrosse, and she walked in the gym, and she said, "Oh my God, that's Papa." She took a picture. He didn't even know it was hanging in the gym there. So it's kind of fun. Shout out to him, Dad, and thanks for your service. We all appreciate it.
Yes, thank you. That's really something to be proud of.
He's a good man.
Yeah. Darian having an opportunity to take a ball out here now, and we're just going to look after that timeout. If anything just changed, it looks like Darian's playing 4 in the back now. So you see Bridget Mahoney kind of there as a low midfielder. There's Sydney. Now, once she receives that ball, she needs 5 yards from that defender. So I'm surprised that wasn't called. That defender was on top of her right away.
So, Kari, what she was just basically juggling that ball with her stick. What do we call that?
Air dribbling.
Okay.
3D skills. But once she receives that, the opponent needs to give her 5 yards to be able to do something with the ball. And she was on top of her right away, and she encroached in her space. So it actually should have been Sydney should have had an advantage there, turning around. You see Darian falling back a little bit here, and I think that's a smart move. We have some great stick skills on Enfield. Number 27, Michaela March taking the ball. Darian getting possession. Katie Elders just was stick obstructed by captain number 1, Taylor. So Darian again with an opportunity here. Bridget Mahoney taking that ball.
So the roles of both Bridget and Katie in the middle, they've both got very strong shots. They're both fast, and they're keeping that ball on the offensive side, correct?
Yeah, so they're the 2 center midfielders. There's kind of like a diamond in the center, and they seesaw each other. There's a ball getting through, but Carrie Blatney, they didn't really see an advantage there, so they're going to give the ball to Enfield. It did hit Darian Foot. They kind of seesaw in the middle and support each other, and they're an option inside for the outside midfielders to use. Now, she's outside the 25, so she can hit that ball right in and look for a tipper, which is exactly what happened. That ball probably needs to be just a little bit wider.
Bridget Mahoney with a nice stop here. And this is where we've seen Bridget use the long ball this year at different times when she has the spot, because she's got such a great shot. She's going to play field hockey at Cornell, only a junior at Darien High School, and just having one heck of a season.
Yeah, Bridget Mahoney, I think I had mentioned this in one of the broadcasts, came to us as a freshman with just playing field hockey her first year as a freshman. And we saw such potential in her and said, you need to play on the JV team. And she said, I don't really think I'm ready to play on the JV team. And now I probably think she's one of the best players in the state. She's just phenomenal.
I think she's the last of 5 kids. She had a bunch of older brothers, and she is feisty. She's fast, and she's, again, another really good kid on and off the field.
Yeah. And taking that FCAC MVP also along with having that hardwire to her.
Yep. Yeah. You know, what we saw in Bridget was that her, now that was into 2 players, so that would be a turnover. Her feet were moving so fast that her stick skills had not caught up yet since she was new to the sport.
Yep.
So now that her stick skills have caught up with her feet, she's just a machine.
Brendan, to your point, getting voted the FCAC, after winning the FCAC championship, and then the tournament MVP, where she didn't have a goal, but she just controlled that midfield. Wouldn't you say you were filming a lot of that?
Yeah, she played really well. You're on the field long to see that as well. But Bridget Mahoney came down with the first team from the FCAC, as well as Katie Elders, Wazinski, and Cassidy with the East. So
there's
a lot
a
of
play.
hardware.
This is something we don't like to see right here.
Larissa Montigny is down on the field, and I did not see what happened, but as you know, Guy, from seeing just any player down at this point
And this weather doesn't help at all.
No.
We saw a girl, I think in the championship game against Wilton. She took a rocket shot right off the center of her knee on a cold night. I was like, oh boy, that's going to leave more than a mark.
Yeah. Well, there's been some pretty serious injuries in field hockey. You remember the FCAC game last year where they were looking for the
oh my gosh,
tip of a pinky on the field.
And they did find it. Who came up with that?
They did. I don't know who came up with it.
She wasn't hitchhiking much after that, but no, that's terrible. But they
No,
did.
but
All joking aside, they did. They took her to the hospital. They sewed it. They sewed it on. But think of the power to cut off the tip of your finger.
Yep.
With a field hockey stick.
Yeah. So we know these girls are true athletes. They, come out here, brave this cold. It's quite a bit of stick skill to move along with your feet, to move along with keeping your eyes up. So it's a ton of coordination for field hockey. I don't like the look of Larissa still being down.
She's rolling off on her side. Hasn't moved a whole heck of a lot, but the coaches and the trainers were there immediately, and now she's on her back, hopefully getting some air. And
let's hope she's okay.
How does playing on the turf compare to, what are the differences playing on turf rather than grass?
So, The U.S. is one of the only countries that plays on what this is called field turf or multi-surface turf. Most of the other countries play on AstroTurf, which is it's very much like a gym floor. So the ball moves so quickly. Stick skills are phenomenal. So playing many sports on this turf, because we don't have the field space, it's a multi-field turf. So it's a little bit longer, obviously better than grass, but the ball doesn't move as well as it does on Astro, but this turf the ball seems to be moving very well.
I guess that compares to girls soccer or just soccer in general. They had a couple years ago for the Girls World Cup, there was a little controversy about playing that on the AstroTurf rather than the grass, with soccer having history playing on that grass. But I think Darian, fan of residents, could easily say that turf's very well for them.
You can, just by looking at this turf, and I walked down on the field before the game, it's a lower, it's not as compacted. Nice to see we've got someone, she's unfortunately, looks like she's going to need help off the field.
Yeah, she's getting up. It looks like that, if I'm seeing correctly from this far away, her right leg maybe is not, she's not able to put some pressure on that, but good to see her at least get up and off the field.
Looking at our screen here, we've got a number of viewers, and just a quick shout out to Kirsten McLean and her brother Jason Knight watching from Houston, Texas, down in Katy, Texas. We've got a lot of people lining up to see some of these games, and fun the other night, Sally Cassidy's mom, who had a long-time trip planned to Italy.
Italy, yes.
And she viewed it with her mom while they were over on vacation in Italy. And again, thanks to the Darien Athletic Foundation and the Darien Foundation and so many people in Darien who have helped this. Brendan Ross sitting next to me on the edge of some cutting-edge things in the media world.
We've got a good group of kids behind us that are starting to join and further this process, and that's what it's all about, is growing this media network and allowing for people all over the country and Darien and the FCAC to view the games.
Okay, Darian back on the attack here in the circle, looking for a corner. Love the way they're collapsing, supporting, a lot of talking on that sideline.
Yeah, they've got a goal up, and this is an advantage for Darien. We're 12:29 remaining, so they're over halfway through this first half. And if Darien can go in with a 2-0 lead, it would be a phenomenal mental help as well, and Enfield as well, if they can get a goal, to come in 1-1. These games are low-scoring games, especially against talented teams like these. So every touch counts, every ball counts.
Coming in from the right side, we see Kendall Wazinski out there, who probably wouldn't be out there for two reasons. Number one, the Darien Athletic Foundation, because Jason at NOLA Physical Therapy actually, before she went in the next morning as a favor to Mo, he had actually taken the tape and downloaded it, looked at YouTube, and so actually understood her injury before she even walked in. Talk about cutting-edge things.
Yeah.
He's spent 2 hours with her a day. Again, NOLA, right there in Darien. He's got two offices. He's got one on 5th Avenue and Park, but he lives in Darien. He's committed, and he's doing a great job for a lot of our athletes.
Yeah, he's been working with the Darien field hockey team and some of the other sports teams, and we've been, girls particularly are at risk for more injury just based on their base of support and their growth as a young lady than their male counterparts. And so he's doing a lot of strength and conditioning that's strengthening their hips and their ligaments, so they're not getting as many injuries as previously known.
He showed me a stat the other day. Women of this age playing competitive sports. Here's
nice shot by Sydney Schranker. That looked like it probably should have been a corner.
They're just, they want to get that goal number two here.
They really do.
But they're pushing it. But 4-1 women to men in terms of ACL.
tear, yep.
Just from a stretching standpoint.
Yes.
And I know Dr. Brenner at Darien High School has basically talked to him about coming in, working with all the coaches.
Yes.
So specific stretching and strengthening for different sports and both male and female makes a big difference.
It really does. It used to be 8-1 that statistic, and it's decreased. It's because young women, their bodies are just different, and we're putting the same demands on, as our male counterparts are taking, and our center of gravity is just totally different, and so the support for the knee joints is not there, and so that ACL MCL tear is just so much more prominent for female athletes.
Little give and go right there down the sideline.
Yeah, so you see Enfield right there ready to get that ball. They're really packing it in. Yeah.
Okay, we've got a corner. It's funny. That's Sydney Schrinker to Kendall Wazinski. They've been playing
Dynamic
lacrosse
duo.
and field hockey, since they were, I think, in third grade. And there's just a sense sometimes, all of a sudden, they'll know where they are. And, Kendall's got a pretty strong shot, and Sid is just great near the cage and has tipped in a lot of balls this year.
And as you noted, many of these athletes actually are dual sport athletes or do 3 sports. And that's a great thing about Darien athletes is that they do all those sports.
I wouldn't be surprised if this is the ball that goes back over to Kiki for a little tip in there. Oh, that was a great ball. Kiki crossed it, and unfortunately, there just wasn't anyone there in the post. Enfield may try to get this ball quickly, but you see Darian backpedaling, facing the ball, and ready to take it.
Wasn't for a lack of trying right there. I saw that
dangerous.
That looked like Molly Hellman left her feet going for a flying tip right there. So, as I always say, don't let these skirts fool you. These girls are out to play hard and out to win.
So we have 9 minutes remaining in the first half. That's a great ball and another great touch. And great job by Enfield getting that ball. But Darien with another opportunity and see if they can. Ball coming out.
That ball came across, hit Wazinski's stick, and I'll tell you what, Kelly Mazza for Enfield.
Getting some great action tonight.
Quick as a cat back there coming out of the cage.
Yep. Now, Darian's going to have another ball, and while we just have a moment, I just want to say to Mo's parents, Blue Mama and Pop Flaherty, watching from Massachusetts this night. Shout out to you.
Tom Flaherty has been coaching football for, I think, now 52 years.
Pretty impressive.
Up at in Groveland, for Pentucket High School. Great guy, and she is truly the daughter of a coach, and he is, I've got 3 of my best friends. One of them was the best man at my wedding. They all played football for him in high school.
That's amazing.
Didn't even know it till I met, Mo and I talked for 10 years, and she said, I said, what's your maiden name? Flaherty. I said, well, there's a Coach Flaherty. And so the White brothers, one played at Harvard, Colby, and Holy Cross. They all played for him, and they all think he walks on water.
Yeah, you can see where Mo gets it from. He's a great guy, and his mom, and I think that that hit a foot inside the circle. So Darien going to have a defensive corner, and Enfield with an opportunity here. Now we know they're really big ball hitters, so Erica just needs to be ready, and all the defenders need to be low and strong. That initial shot in a corner, unless it's a drag flick, cannot be above the baseboard. So as long as the defenders stay nice and low.
So Kari, what's the strategy here? Normally we've seen Katie rip coming out of that net because she's so fast, but is her idea, is she looking for the ball and who's getting it right here?
Yeah, you generally have a flyer, which coming out right there is Katie, and Katie does a fantastic job breaking that up. You have a flyer, a right trail, a left trail. And
Bridget Mahoney just got that ball in the face.
Oh, did she?
Yep. She's a tough kid, man.
She is a tough kid.
I think that bounced right off her goggles. It looks like, right on cue right there.
Yeah.
Katie came flying out, and actually, I think she almost got the ball before the offensive player did.
Yeah, she's so quick. But then, that's a missed trap, and that should be coming out, Now, ultimately, if that ball wasn't pushed away by Enfield, which it shouldn't have been, we should have been able to get that ball immediately to our 5 players coming down, and Enfield would have been at a little bit of a disadvantage, but they hit that ball away, taking that momentum away.
Boy, Darien crossing fields there, right there, hitting a strong ball. That's one of those things where if you miss it, you're in trouble.
Yes.
But they're executing right now. It looks strong on that change of fields.
So we're 6 minutes, 30 seconds remaining in the first half. Darien with a 1-0 lead. Enfield now has been completely out of the Darien 50 for the past, I would say, 15, 20 minutes. But Enfield now attacking once again, trying to take that ball down the left side, just a little bit different. That was a missed trap by Emily Schwartzman, and now Enfield having an opportunity on the 30-yard line to enter into the circle. And as we know, they have some great stick work. So you have Captain Tori coming in with the ball. And I thought that was pretty good defense by Bridget Mahoney, but Tori did a great job using her body, and now she's
Sally Cassidy back there is just
phenomenal.
You can bank on her, and she comes from pretty good genes when it comes from field hockey.
She does.
You're talking about her sister Lily, who was captain of the Darien High School team. She's watching in Boston right now. Georgia Cassidy just lighting it up at Colby, transferred from UNC, and wanted that New England school experience, and her brother's there as well.
Yes.
And with Sally going there next year, are you kidding me?
Yeah, they're going to have a great team.
Oh boy!
I think they know what they're getting in the Cassidy sisters.
The Mules of Colby, they're going to be awfully strong. With again, I think Georgia came in right out of the box, was one of the leading scorers she was averaging a goal or a goal and a half a game, from what I understand.
Yeah, Georgia's such a phenomenal player, very similar to she just that was Okay, sorry.
That's right.
Watching the play here. That ball will be coming out. It wasn't a shot. It was outside the circle. Inside the circle, it may have been considered a shot on goal, but that was a lifted pass, so coming out. Yeah, Georgia's just a strong player. Her stick skill's so good. She's just so aware of where her opponents are and how to use her body. Again, an ice hockey player, so a huge advantage.
You know, I'm not so sure, but I'll just ask both of you guys. Brendan, you know, I'm watching, and I like the way this is being officiated. There's not nearly as many whistles as we've seen recently. They're letting these girls play. They've earned the right to be here, and you know, these the officials are ranked as well. So we've got the best officials in the state right now, down to the Final Four.
Yeah, except for that crazy stick obstruction that I heard from here that wasn't called. On cue again. Everyone seems to be working on cue, guys.
There you go. Emily Schwartzman with a big shot there.
So they've just called a corner. That foul looked like it was outside. I'm not sure if they were able to draw a corner. I didn't exactly see because I was looking opposite direction. But Darian's going to have a penalty corner. The officials, they have such a hard job. They have to make a decision in a split second. And sometimes you just can't catch the view right. So they're doing a phenomenal job. You know, you'll miss something here or there, but for the most part, I think these officials are doing a great job. So
I do too. And that ball is moving fast and furious. And I think part of it's the turf and the cold weather. With a harder surface, you know, those pellets are down, they're hard, they're frozen, and that ball is really moving well.
Yeah, so we have another insert by Kiki Tropsa. There's a little trap and a slip left. Great, she's wide open for a shot. Yep, a great lift, and that was a great save.
Was that Shea Vanderbrook, number 16, with that shot? What a beautiful lift.
That was a great save by
Kelly Mazza, man, just came down. She went up top for that. That thing was going. That was ticketed for the right corner. She made a great save.
That was just a dangerous ball, so Darian's going to have an opportunity. I believe they're going to be outside, outside the 25. So, oh no, she's inside the 25. So Katie does have to carry this ball again or pass to a teammate, which she does. We're 3 minutes in the second half. Darian with a 1-0 lead, still attacking inside the offensive circle. And there was just a backhanded pass outside. You see nice and low defense there, and Molly's there as support, so there's a beautiful double team there, and a great takeaway. Sydney Schrankert, yep. And unfortunately, just Sydney not able to get her stick on that ball, so it hit a foot, and Enfield able to get this ball out again.
I think you could say the momentum has easily been on Darian's side in the first half.
Absolutely, Brandon. But again, the number one, Taylor, just doing such a great job with her stick work, unfortunately, does hit a foot.
Brendan, quick shout out to your dad, who's actually doing the filming for us tonight here. He's wearing his other son's alma mater with the Notre Dame hat on here. But big shout out to the Ross family tonight for all the help and the great work their mom does on the Board of Education and all the time it takes invested in working to make our schools great.
Carrie Blatney with a fantastic stick. That was just with a fantastic stick block, and Emily Schwartzman coming from behind there, unfortunately. So there's going to be a stick obstruction foul. You've got to make sure you're kind of stick to stick or shoulder to shoulder with that defender, unless you're shaving it from behind. Kiki Tropsa with a great
Kiki's
tackle back.
She's just fearless, isn't
she?
So
fast, yeah. Yep. And yes, thank you, Brandon, for both of your parents and their contribution, as well as you. You guys are great supporters for Darien. That's Katie Elders with a great stop, and she's just and that's another very hard stick obstruction. So that player impeded the progress of Katie able to take that ball.
Kind of a neat story with Kiki last year. Kiki broke her wrist as Darian regroups back here. Kiki broke her wrist. And then comes back. The first game back is the semifinal of the hockey. This is the ice hockey championship, playing for her father, the head coach, and she scores the winning goal in overtime, 3-2.
Yeah, she's an amazing.
And I was like, "Are you kidding me?" I looked at Jamie Tropsa, who's one of the most well-liked, respected hockey guys in the area. I said, "Was that special?" And he couldn't say a whole lot. He just looked at me and was like, "Oh my gosh!"
No words.
Yeah.
She's just a phenomenal special athlete. Darien having an opportunity, less than 1 minute remaining. If they can maybe get this ball inside the circle, a goal or a corner would be a really great setup for them going into the second half. But miss, and it's going to be a 25-yard hit coming in. It's called a long hit. They've got just over 30 seconds. They can definitely get circle entry and possibly a corner here.
if they get the corner and the time runs out, they still get a shot at it, correct?
Yep, they continue to play. So what Coach Minikis may do is bring every player up. So then you have 10 players. Bridget was just tripped up a little bit. I think she just kind of tripped over her own stick. I wouldn't say that was any foul. Number 23, Tori, just dribbling down through the field, doing a great job. Darian coming from behind with a stick obstruction.
Good play right there by Vanderbrook.
Right to break that up.
I don't care if it's one of those things. Just had to slow her down because
absolutely.
Enfield was going 30 miles an hour there, moving towards our goal.
There's another foot and just 2 seconds left. So we're going to end here with a 1-0 lead with Darian, I would say, maintaining possession most of that first half after the first 5 minutes. We'll see what happens.
So that does it for the first half. Darien leads Enfield 1-0. We'll be back in a couple minutes for the second half.
Darian leads Enfield 1-0.
We are back at Cheshire High School. Darian leads the Enfield Eagles 1-0. Strong first half for the Blue Wave. Momentum on their side.
I will say that, but Enfield's just a tip away here from tying this one up. We've got 30 minutes, and these girls have to bring it.
Yeah, it's been a great match. Enfield's known again for taking those really big balls that you can see they have fantastic hits, finding a tipper. And, that's generally how you can score in field hockey. Is not on the direct shot, but on the rebounds coming off. So Darian's got to just really, keep their strategy. If they keep their strategy and play their game, they're generally, just unstoppable, I would have to say.
We were talking about Kiki Tropson being the leader out there, both inspirational. I think she did a little wardrobe change here.
She said she was so hot.
She's sleeveless here.
Cold?
It's 40 degrees, and probably with the wind chill, I'm guessing it's about 30. And we're leaving it all on the field. This is win and play on Saturday for the state championship. Lose or go home.
We're just going to say hi real quick to Emily Tropso, who's watching at home. And Mo's sister, Ruth, is watching from the Pentucket Conference. She was actually just nominated as Varsity Coach of the Year there. So you've got some great coaches in this family, as you had mentioned, Dad.
I'll tell you what, that Flaherty gang, they get it done, that's for sure.
Yeah, so Darian with the pushback, or push ahead, however they decide to move this ball. They do take it back, find Bridget Mahoney, or, Bridget. And it's a nice little inside by Shea Vanderbroek. She's trying to send that ball out. That's off Enfield, so we'll be able to take that ball again, Darian.
I love that with Shea. Shea that's just a quick touch. There's not a lot of dribbling going on. She knows where she's going with it. It's like basketball. People like to dribble the ball at times, and everybody watches the point guard, but it slows down and it allows the defense to set up. I love these one-touch, quick one-timers. Right there, great ball by Shea.
This is a great ball. And Shea's so patient. She times her ball so well. Now, here we go again.
We got Wazinski on the wing. She's probably looking for the middle.
Yeah, unfortunate. Looked like she had found a foot.
Okay.
It's a great stop. And she's trying to find Kendall right back in, but Enfield able to stop the ball. Now, they have a ball ahead. You have Lindsay Wallach just coming by. She's going to try to keep this player wide, number 18, Caitlin Bork. And Caitlin able to get inside on Lindsay, but she has great support right there by Bridget, who does a great job moving her feet and able to get this ball. And that's a fantastic hit to Sydney Schranker. She can just bump this ball out wide to Molly, but she gets a little bit of a stick on from Enfield. Great job defending it there. It's maybe a little bit too much, a little mistrap there. And once again, Enfield really going. Then that's a foot. Yeah, so Enfield should have that advantage.
And actually, that's a good foot right there because that was a one-on-one ball.
Yep.
There's Lindsay Wallach playing some good D.
Yeah, so that was a corner. I don't know. In my opinion, she lifted that ball into the circle. I didn't know that. But it did hit Lindsay inside the circle, so it's going to be a corner. And Enfield, with their first opportunity, striking hard, as you know, with a goal down, they're going to come out hard and fast. So see what Darien defense brings and what Enfield brings.
I believe this is the first corner for the Enfield tonight.
Yeah, they're going to insert. They had one, I think, in the first half.
Yeah, okay.
Little give and go, but right there ready. Both Bridget and Katie at the top, still ready. A little reverse shot, but Darien defense right there, and Erica Blaze in the corner. A little scramble in front of the cage, and another corner called.
Erica's been hot in the goal this season, as Damien would always say. Blaze is a great name for a goalie,
yes.
but first-time starter for the Blue Wave. She's been great this season.
Yeah, good point, Brendan. Between Erica Blaze and the three defenders, all first-time defenders back there. We graduated all three playing in college.
Great stop that's a great stop and ball coming out for that obstruction. If she can take that ball right away, find her teammates.
We got some space here on the right side if they can get it up.
Kendall's got to touch that ball. Yes, and Kendall just made a fantastic touch. Sends that ball right up the field to Sydney. If Sydney can get this ball.
Oh, here we go, baby. Sydney Schranker on a breakaway.
Well timed. Up and over. And goal. Fantastic.
How you doing right there?
That's a goal for the Blue Wave. That puts the Wave up 2-0. over the Enfield Eagles.
That started from the backfield, taking that so quickly from that corner. Katie did a great job breaking that up. It came from the back line, sent it over to Kendall Wazinski, who found Sydney Schrenker wide, and then Sydney so poised to pull that ball back and lift up and over the goalkeeper. That was a fantastic goal by Darian.
Sid the kid, I'll tell you what, the girl's just got a nose for the goal. I don't care what sport it is. And here's a girl, real quickly, who basically has had to sit out the last year and a half because she's had a cracked vertebrae in her back. And, was a D1 recruit in lacrosse, just smiled, worked hard, PT every single day. Love to see the season that she's having here.
Yeah, I remember that. It was so hard to see her because, again, Sydney, as you said, her smile is just contagious. And she is such a great kid. Not a bad kid on this team, obviously, but just, she worked through that. And, back pain is something really hard to work through, especially at such a young age.
Yep. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And
Yeah.
she's having a great season. Nice to see her back on the field.
Fantastic stick work by number 1, Taylor, but she was eventually shut down by Darien defense. But she did dribble through 3 opponents, did a really great job. Bridget Mahoney in the center field taking that. Now she gets another ball through to Sydney. And Sydney on the attack, but Enfield breaking that ball up. Right there once again, Katie, and a great save by Maza again.
I'll tell you what, Maza kicking that ball out, but that's an opportunity for Darian because definitely sitting back there someone's got to be hopefully getting there for a tip.
Yeah. Here's Sally Cassidy, as you mentioned, the Cassidy sisters. Unfortunately, she dribbles that ball out of bounds. Enfield having an opportunity inside the 50, but Sally had a great step up. Kiki looks so out of place there without a shirt.
She's got the shirt on. She's just she's flexing her muscles, and she does one heck of a job, man. She is. And if you ever saw her and you were like, wait a second, is that the same girl? She's a beautiful girl, but she just plays hard, and she gets it from the family and her, like you said, her sister Emily, who was captain of the lacrosse team for the Bullets down at Gettysburg, and
great stop.
She's a roommate with Lily Cassidy, the two of them, former captains at Darien High School.
Yeah. Kiki's just, spectacular girl, and she's earned that right to take that shirt off whenever she wants. Underneath, of course, we're talking.
Shea Vanderbrook really playing well, very composed on that sideline.
Yeah, they tried a reverse shot there, and Shea just had her stick out, and the Enfield player didn't hit the ball. Now, if that girl runs in front, it would be third party. So she was really poised, number 18 on Enfield, to stay back, Caitlin, and not create that third party call.
I've seen Katie Elders go down a couple of times here.
Yeah.
That was a foul right there. Or they would call that a tackle in field hockey, correct?
Yes. So there's a stick tackle, block tackle, and then if you kind of go after the ball and don't come away with the ball, it would be depending on what it is, a stick obstruction or an obstruction. Now that to me seems like an obstruction. You could hear that from here. Sydney tried to get that ball off, but it was off Enfield's stick, which you could hear. So
they'll slow that down and bring it back. Brendan, you tell me, I'm looking at the field, and we're having to squint a little bit here. The difference between the LED lights in Darien and what we have here, it's quite a difference, and wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, we have a great set of lights up there at the high school, new this season on the field, but yeah, it's a little tough here, finding that ball in the field.
Great job by number 1 again, Taylor, to get that ball inside circle entry for Enfield to try to make something happen for them offensively. Unfortunately, no one there to be able to help her. There's a great stop by number 20, Anne Renee. That's the first time I've seen her step up. So it looks like Enfield stepping up a little bit more on defense. Really good job in there for maybe some adjustments for the halftime. But Darien leading 2-0, 23 minutes remaining.
Kari, with Darien up 2-0 right now, what is Enfield going to do? Are they going to basically take more chances because now they've got to get the ball in the net?
I would say they would. They just turned a corner. We saw number 20 step up their left back, and again, I hadn't seen that all game. So I would think they have nothing to lose now. Just push up and see what can happen. Now this is their third corner of the half. Unprecedented, obviously, for the first half. So let's see if they can connect here. We have a great insert. It's a fantastic insert, a great stop at the top. It's a great shot and a goal.
Wow.
It was just an initial shot. Erica just didn't catch that angle right. It was a fantastic shot, and they score on a bullet with 22:56 on the clock.
You could hear that sound up here, and that thing was
a rocket.
smoked.
It's a missile. Right off the inbound.
Yep, great shot. We know they're, as we said, big ball hitter, so that was a great shot. Now, Darian, what they have to work on is not giving up the corners, now seeing what Enfield's able to do.
Don't turn off your sets, ladies and gentlemen. We've got a good one on hand. 22:56 left to play in this one. 2-1 Darien. Winner goes to the state finals on Saturday.
Right, so Coach Minica is calling a timeout here. I would imagine, that goal could have been stopped. That was a direct shot. It wasn't wide. There was no tipper. It was directly on the goal cage. So I'd imagine they're just going to try to regroup the defense here.
So 2-1. Does Darien go keep pushing for another goal, or do they kind of play defensive-minded?
I have to say, watching this game, Darien is controlling the pace of the game for sure. To play defensively would take, in my opinion, take Darien out of their game. We are such an offensive powerhouse. Go for 3, go for 4.
I'm with you, Kari. It's one of those things where we see it in football too, and they said, okay, they're going to a prevent defense. I think what prevent defense does is prevent you from winning.
Yeah.
And, yes, maybe you can drop an extra player back on D just in case, but on the same token, keep it going. You've got the athletes. And I think Enfield, they need to tie this game up.
Yes.
And with our big hitters, with some of our midfielders who can just drill the ball, all of a sudden there's going to be a couple of seams. If they're playing more on the offensive side, you get a Bridget Mahoney who takes a rip at one of those things, or a Katie Elders,
Dangerous.
and you've got the speed of our athletes, up front.
You could slice the ball open again, right?
Yeah, yes. Yeah. I mean, ideally, that's what obviously I think Darian would look for. But as we know in field hockey, we watch it, you could maintain possession the entire match, and the other team gets that one opportunity, as we've discussed so many times, and it takes that one opportunity. So Darian just needs to be really sharp on their defense, not give anything up like they just did. And I think in my opinion, continue to attack, because as it's going now, I can see them earning at least one more goal. Just under 23 minutes remaining in the second half.
So you're Mo Minicus right now. What are you telling your players, your coach?
Oh, good grief. I mean, that goal shouldn't have, that goal, it was a great shot, but it was directly in the center of the goal cage. So, you can't take it back. You got to move forward. Let's go ahead, play our game, and let's put another one in.
Okay. Elders at the top of the circle starts with an aerial. They'll dump it down to about the 25-yard line.
Yep, number 27 taking this ball to Michaela March. And Enfield again. Now they've got to bring it back to the spot of the fall. So Michaela is going to turn that ball over to number 1 Taylor, who we've seen has had fantastic stick skills. So defense just seems to be really patient.
Nice, Sydney.
It was a great stick tackle by Sydney and some great 3D work. Yep. Oh, unfortunately, Enfield able to get that ball. Taylor, here she goes again, and she's got a great hit. So not only does she have fantastic stick work, but her hit's very good as well. And Bridget trying to find Kiki Traps on the left side, and Kiki maintaining possession of that ball. As we know, she's so strong on that left side. Is a very well-timed pass.
Here comes crafty Katie.
Yep.
I should say Molly Hellman.
Yep, and here's Shay Vanderbrook, and she's got an opportunity. This girl's coming right from behind. That should absolutely be a corner.
The ball's bouncing in front of the net.
Yeah.
Oh, swing and a miss.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that should have been a corner from the very beginning. And here's Shay Vanderbrook, still playing strong defense, but now, a great takeaway by Shay. Great takeaway.
Founder man, Katie Elders in. Couldn't get a full stick on that. Great play by Shay. Shay's playing with some real great composure right in front of us here.
Once again, that's that underclassmen, that's that depth on this team that makes it so great, the wave this season.
Yeah, there's Bridget Mahoney sending the ball over to Kiki Trapsa. Kiki able to get the ball and takes it opposite direction. She was coming left, now going right. That's a great way to take your defense, especially on the right side. It's their non-stick side. That was a pretty hard stick foul, but let go by the umpire. So now Enfield opportunity. But now Bridget taking that ball, sending it back, changing the point of attack, which is a pretty smart thing. There's a missed trap by Sally. That's the
only dangerous thing about that, right? Is if you just don't trap that ball and they're coming, you're going back, they're going forward. That can. And that's how Norwalk scored the other night.
Yeah, we saw that. So that's the interest. That's another great stick tackle. Kendall Wazinski with a nice little lift over the stick. She's going to try to find Sydney, which she doesn't. I imagine
give
Sydney.
And go right here. We've seen this before. Wazinski on the right side. She's going to try to.
That was a great job by defender to come take that ball away.
You can still see Kendall's not quite, I think, 100% yet. Yeah, you can see that. Normally, she's going to get to that ball, and we'll try to either that or try to cross it. But either way, good give and go here.
Yep.
We've got 20 minutes left to play in this one.
Some great ball handling here by Bridget Mahoney. And Bridget just does not give up. You see the defender stop her there, but she just continued moving forward. Now she has Shea Vanderbrook on an overlap on the right side. That would just be an easy pass option, and there she goes. And Shea can now hit this ball directly in, miss trap, and out of bounds.
It happens.
Yep.
I mean, you got to stay close. You're looking up, and here's another thing. We're going to different field after different field.
Yes.
Each one of these turf,
Yep.
correct me, you tell us, Kari, but each one, ooh, holy cow.
It's a great stop by Sydney. Yeah, each one's different. This seems to be moving really well. There's a stick foul by Sydney again.
Would that not have been a dangerous
Sorry, that
ball?
that was Kendall.
Well, either way, I think that's going to leave a mark, but
anything below the knee is
going to be good.
It's her job to kind of stop it there. Depending on the proximity, if she's an established defender and she just cracks that ball into her, that's a little bit of a different story. But I think they were both on the move. Some great stick work by Katie. You see how fast she is and where she carries that ball in front of her. Just great job. That's such a strong push in the circle. And Sydney, unfortunately, with her feet facing the wrong direction and just not able to get a stick on that. Great.
Really strong play by Katie right there. Now this is going to come all the way back if it gets out of bounds.
Yeah, it was a great hit.
Right to the end line, okay.
Now sometimes that can be a strategy because now Enfield can defend here from the 16-yard line, and they may have an attacking opportunity depending on what happens, but that was a great
nice
ball out.
Lift.
Shea Vanderbrook usually so good with receiving that, just a mistrap, but Lindsay Wallach does a great job getting that ball out, and
that was that Sally or?
Oh, it was Sally. I thought it was Lindsay, but
that's okay. They're both
Yep.
they're both they've gotten better and better at that shot, and it's if nothing else, it moves it 25, 30 yards out of the zone.
Yeah, there's a great stop. I thought it did hit a Darien foot, maybe Enfield, but again, it's really hard to see everything. They're going to try the ball in the center of the field with Kiki, and Kiki with a great one time, but maybe just a little bit flatter to Kendall. That ball rolled up her body and will be, I guess, a play on. Number 18 coming in, and she just passes, but great step-ups both by two Darien defenders. It did lift, so an opportunity for Enfield coming in. She's going to take this ball right away, which she does, and it is a fantastic stop.
Oh, the wall right
Mahoney.
there. Bridget Mahoney. How great was that right there? They were not waiting. She came out of nowhere and just shut her down.
She's so good. Molly Hellman just pulled that ball a little bit too far to her left. Bridget Mahoney, there's not enough you can say about the type of player she is.
I'll tell you what, that was a key save right there. Enfield, I like their offensive attack. They weren't waiting. They were going right at it, and out of nowhere
great touch
came.
by Kendall. And a great touch by Sydney.
Let's
Again, these two.
Let's try to get this. Okay, we got a quarter.
Yeah, Sydney and Kendall, as you said, just know where each other are. They did little one touch, two touches to each other, and Kendall was able to earn that corner. That started with Katie Elder sending such a powerful push pass in the circle.
Big corner this time of the game. We got 17:23 left. This would be a big goal for Darian, Kari.
It would, and it would be a good booster for Enfield if they're able to stop Darian here. See if Darian has, maybe just a little bit of a change in the corner plan. Enfield been very successful stopping them coming in. It's a great insert by Kiki again. Bridget lets that ball go through and then slips it left, wide open for a shot. There's a shot. No one gets stick on it. And
there it is.
There it is.
Goal for the Wave.
Boom goes the dynamite. 3-1 Darian with 16:58. How you doing? Little nickel and dimer. It was a chip shot, but it worked. Darian going up 3-1. We got a good one on hand here in Cheshire, Connecticut. We're still looking for who actually got that. There was a pack of players from Darien in front there, but beautiful ball movement on the corner. Mo Miniscus has got to be happy about that.
Yeah, I think it could have been Sydney Schrenker in front of the goal. I know the ball it passed. There was a little fake. Bridget Mahoney lifted her stick up, had it over to Katie. They slipped it down into the corner, and there was somebody in there to put it in. It was a scramble. I don't know.
Just send it in. Love that. Got the shot. A good fake. We'll get a chance to maybe, when we have a second, see if we can watch that one on instant replay, courtesy of Brendan Ross.
Oh, yeah, there we go. We have got that instant replay up here. Brendan can get that going for us. Enfield, again, not taking this lightly, as they should not. They have this ball outside the 20-yard line. They've got to carry this ball 5 yards. You see Darian with it. Now, she's got a 3D ball, and she, in my opinion, put that into the defender. So I'm not really sure.
Yeah, I tell you what, that looked a little bit questionable because with that 3D ball, you can't hit the stick, but you can position yourself in front of her, correct?
Well, yes, you can, and she lifted the ball and then she pushed it forward into the defender. So in my opinion, that should not have been a corner, but I'm not reffing this game. So it's a great insert by Enfield. Now we know they've already scored on a corner, so they're dangerous. So Darien defense to stay strong. That was another great shot. Enfield right in front, and Darien defense there to stop that ball. Yeah. So the player was behind the goalkeeper, and that would be a stroke if it hits the player's body behind the goalkeeper.
So we've got a penalty shot coming up here for Enfield.
It's an interesting game. We'd rather have a stroke than a sure goal. So defender doing the right thing. Obviously, we wish she would have stopped it with her stick, but when it does hit a body, that's the right thing to do. Erica's ready for this. It's a very hard thing to defend. There's so many places this player can go, and the goalkeeper really has to decide one side or the other. There's not a lot of time to react.
Okay.
So number 23, Tori, taking this ball, and she's been phenomenal this entire match.
So we'll see. Erica getting set.
See if she can bring the heat.
Oh, baby Erica Blaze.
Great job by Erica Blaze stopping that, and you can see her excitement from here jumping up in the air. She maintains a 3-1 lead for her team, and there is no better feeling than that as a goalkeeper, I can tell you.
I'll tell you what, she saw that off the stick, moved well, took it in the chest. She wasn't letting that ball go in. I loved it. Right at the end when they won the FCAC championship, the last second of the game, she did a slide save. That helmet came off and said, get out of here, baby.
She's got to be so happy about that. Now, she still has to maintain her composure, but she has got to be so happy about that save. Again, there's no better feeling as a goalkeeper to go one-on-one with a player, and, you're able to get that.
Okay, here we go, though. Darian's got to get their act together. 3-1, could have easily been 3-2. And, again, Enfield pushing the ball.
Yep. As they should. This is a semifinal game. Winner going on to the finals. Enfield ranked number 1 in the state. Darian number 5. As far as play goes, we've discussed many times with many coaches that the competition in the FCAC is very strong.
Yeah, when we say 5-1, I mean,
it's apples.
When Darien brings in, Garden City, the second-ranked team in New York State, and we beat them 4-1.
Yes, absolutely.
The competition level, and we've got 3 of the 4 in the Final Four down, from Fairfield County here. But Enfield, bringing the game tonight, really good, and they've got some. They hit the long ball very, very well, don't they, Kari?
They do, and you know what? Darian's prepared for that. Every team does their research, and we knew that was the kind of team they were doing, so practice that, and it's easy. You just fall back, and you give yourself a little bit more space. And Darien, obviously, as you can see, is kind of stopping it up. And
one thing that, Brendan, I don't know if you've been following this closely, but I haven't seen a lot of subbing from either team here. So
yeah, I only caught one. That was Emily Schwartzman came on in the early first half, but yeah,
great.
Not much new legs in the game.
Another great stop by Katie Elders, and she's so strong. She sends up ball ahead, and a great rebound. The defender stopped initially, and a great save by Maza, and another shot on goal, and that is a corner as it finds a foot.
Wow, that was some quick passing right there. That was Elders, the Wazinski back to Elders.
That should have been a penalty stroke. That player was the same thing that happened down on the other field. That player was behind the goalkeeper. Should have been the same call, but unfortunately it is this umpire's circle, so she's going to call it as she sees it.
As you said, that other side of the bracket it's 2 FCAC powerhouses, Staples and Greenwich playing at McMahon tonight. Greenwich won that last meeting 4-1. So.
And if Enfield had knocked off or hadn't beat Ludlow by 1, it would have been 4 FCAC teams in the Final Four.
Here's Kiki with another insert. Great stop. Slip left. This has been open all day, and they find the ball. Again, another great stop by Maza. She is just able to find her angles and position herself properly. She's done a fantastic job. Darien has a long hit coming in from the 25-yard line. They have to take that ball, the area where it went out in a line with the end line. And, right now, 13 minutes remaining, 3-1 possession, I think, right now, Guy, is the name of the game for Darien. Maintain possession.
Taking a little air out of the ball there.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's a foot. Yep.
And that's when you're going to play conservative. You got to make sure you keep that ball in front of you, move it. Mm-hmm. But, again, conservative sometimes can
stick work.
backfire on you.
Yeah, that was great stick work again by number one. And then Sydney got the ball, but your tendency as a player is you want to get that ball back so badly that you can come back and stick foul, which is what Taylor did.
Love the way Sydney fought for that ball.
Absolutely.
Okay, Katie Elders, kind of surveying the field right now.
Yep. She's got to find her teammate again here, 5 years now. She bought that ball just outside the 25, was able to find, and a nice save by Mazza, but she lifted that ball, and the umpire found that to be dangerous. And so now they're going to call another corner for Darian. And I don't know, but I
don't think Mazza had many choices there.
No, she didn't.
She came out fast, and by the way, I'm sure she probably played some goalie in soccer, too. That thing came out of that net in a hurry.
For body weight isn't forward, sometimes that ball will lift, and, you work with the goalies not, but she did her best job right there, and she's been doing a fantastic job. I don't think she's seen this much action this year, and kudos to her for really doing it. That was a great job, and another goal by Katie Elders. She just waited to see what the defense was going to do, and they did not come out on her, so she just saw that opportunity. She took a direct shot and just a bullet rocket into cage. Fantastic job by Katie Elders, unassisted.
Athletic move right there. She did the same thing against Norwalk the other night in overtime.
Yes.
She took things into her own hands. There was a little give and go and said, what the heck? And right there, baby, she ripped the shot. You heard her hit the back of the net. Darien up 4-1, 11:56. 11 minutes, 56 seconds closer to going to Wethersfield again to play for a back-to-back state title.
Yeah, no, I said unassisted, but that insert was from Kiki Tropsa. So Kiki Tropsa sent that ball to Katie Elders, who again at the top of the circle. So Kiki inserted. Katie was the striker at the top, and again, so poised, looked up, found the space, and took a direct shot on cage. Enfield calling a timeout, which, 4-1. This is just under 12 minutes remaining in this game, and a 4-1 lead against this Darien team is going to be a very hard comeback from Enfield, I would have to say.
I would agree. And Kara, one of the things that we talked about the corners, and for a while during the middle of the season, this team has grown into the corners.
Yes.
Because I remember there was one game, I think there was 14 shots in a row from the corner. We didn't score once.
Yes.
Our percentage is much, much higher. I was kind of needling Coach Mo a little bit about it, and now she can needle it back to me. And the other thing that I loved about it was, the previous corner where they scored, they did more passing at the top. Right there, that came out, and Katie just ripped it. And, by the time Mazza could see it, it was already by her.
Yes.
And as opposed to, she may have been looking for a little give and go up top as opposed to just letting it rip, and that's what Katie Elders did.
Yeah, well, that's the advantage on corners. You've got 4 defenders back plus a goalkeeper, which totals 5, and you have up to 8 or sometimes even more offensive players. So depending on where you find the angles, unless it's cut off, you can really work around the goalkeeper. I just want to shout out to Dr. D from Philly, from Coach Ramsey, watching from home. He's a big fan of yours, Guy.
Oh, good man, good man.
We just want to thank all our viewers tonight for joining us tonight here at Cheshire High School, sorry, but great game. Darien 4, Enfield 1. Great game under the lights here Tuesday night.
Good crowd on both sides for both Enfield, and people couldn't have been nicer here at Cheshire. Kind of a fun thing is their athletic director, all of a sudden, last name was Trefone. I'm like,
Yes.
Wait a second. It's Rob Trefone's brother, the athletic director here at Cheshire, and he's putting on a great show. And that was kind of nice to see a warm, friendly face when we walked in.
And great thanks to him for helping us set up and get our location right here.
Yeah,
able to send
it
videos.
felt like a little bit like family coming in and seeing. We see Rob, as you know, pretty much every day on the football field. So, they look similar, sound similar. So it was warming and a great welcome.
It was fun. But again, Brendan, what time did you get here to set things up?
Oh, well, I got here at 4 o'clock. Damien got here a little earlier, but yeah, without Damien or Bruce or any of these people, all these people, the setup wouldn't have been able.
Damien Andrews, just irreplaceable, taking an opportunity to come and work with the DAF media from News Channel 12 after 20 years in sports. He's just a super guy, and the man behind the curtain, Bruce Ferguson, who's kind of made all this happen. And it's
the tech genius, I should say.
Yeah, and they're getting
Great
some
ball.
some national acclaim, the DAF media. And from what we understand, the clarity of these shots and what's being done, there's 2 schools in the country doing this, Darien High School and Harvard University. It's pretty
Wow.
amazing. Yeah.
I had some time this summer to spend at Harvard University. It was fantastic. And two of my former club players are playing for Harvard University. So I actually just went down to Columbia and was able to watch them 2 weekends ago. It was a really great match.
That Cambridge court campus is just
it was
beautiful,
beautiful.
isn't
It was so beautiful. We played on the field. We had, we went into Harvard Yard. It was it's a beautiful campus.
it? That's what happens when you have $150 billion in for an endowment.
So Darian keeping up with Harvard.
Yeah, but honestly, that some of the things that we're doing with the DAF media are not we're doing, that Bruce is doing. They have a staff of 15. We have Damian Andrews, and fortunately, we have Brendan Ross right next to us. And Brendan, you're cultivating some of these other students to, they're looking at you as a leader here in terms of what you're doing, and they're like, wow, this would be pretty cool. And I'm sure there's a lot of buzz at the high school.
Yeah, like I said, we got a couple kids joining in. That's what we're trying to do. build
Darian
this up
attacking again.
and Make it a program.
Katie coming back with that shot again. Now that was just lifted. It was a shot on goal, but there were some opponents in the way, so the umpire can consider that dangerous. That ball started from the backfield from Carrie Blatney. Carrie wanted me to say hello to Noni and Poppy McCoy, who are also watching. Grandparents watching granddaughter, and this is why the DAF is so important, because we have family members from everywhere able to view the matches and partake where they wouldn't be able to attend, and some just choosing to stay out of the cold.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, we talked about playing the long ball here in Enfield, and again, the bench was so short, it looked like they had some injuries that these girls have been going full tilt the entire game.
Kendall Wazinski, your daughter just did some phenomenal work there. We want to give her some credit.
Well, she needs to. She's been out for a couple of games.
Yeah, she's got to make up for it. She got a great ball that's sent down to Sydney Schrenker, who did some great work in the corner that went off an Enfield stick. So Shea Vanderbrook taking this ball. She, again, has to carry the ball 5 or find a teammate just outside the circle, which she does with Bridget Mahoney. And Bridget, again, with some great stick work. You see 3 players around her and her potentially getting that ball away, but Enfield playing really strong again and not giving up anything lightly. That Taylor Giglione is just doing such a great job. There's Kiki Tropso with the ball.
Moving it up the sideline, and you were talking about Shea Vanderbrook. Quick shout out to her sister, Sky Vanderbrook, who is an outstanding lacrosse player at Darien High School. Went pre-med to Michigan, decided not to play lacrosse in college, but a lot of these kids that are playing on this field who play lacrosse thank their father, Rich Vanderbrook, who ran the women's lacrosse program for years, and my son had the pleasure of playing for him in 6th, 7th, 8th grade. What a wonderful guy. It's a great family, and Sky's the last of the group coming through.
Yeah.
She's got another year ahead of us.
So Darian, there's some great play in there. Enfield able to get the ball inside their offensive 25, but Darian with an opportunity and send that ball over, and that was just a little bit too much, and Sydney not able to get her stick on that.
She just leaves it all on the field, though, doesn't she?
She sure does. She just, it's 4-1, 8 minutes remaining, and no one's letting up in this game on either team. Number 1, Taylor Giglione, one of the sisters, senior captain, taking this ball in, and again, a fantastic hit, and she finds.
How did that get through?
Yeah, that's she is a great move on number 23, who was able to get that ball through. She finds her sister, and sometimes that sister connection, as you know, with all the twins we've had, they can just find each other in the field. So that was a great job on their part.
Great. Lindsay Wallach right there. Thank God she was there. If not, she was taking that to the house.
Right, so she's lifting this ball again, and you see that great composure on. It was great composure on Katie Elders.
Now, shouldn't that be a play on right there? I mean, we had the advantage, and they're bringing it back. It's a foul on them. Now, they can regroup, and Katie's got to bring the ball all the way back.
I agree with you 100%. It, unfortunately, is up to the umpire's discretion. Now, I think she may have just carded a player out, to be honest with you, so she had to hold. Now, I'm not sure exactly what happened. That player could have come from behind, but number 23 has been sent off with a green card, Tori, for 2 minutes. So she'll be off the field for 2 minutes, leaving Enfield a player down for 2 minutes, and that is crucial for them trying to get 3 goals back.
Little error right there by Darian. You got to make sure you handle that pass, especially down in this side of the field.
Yeah, Darian can't let up at all. A team like Enfield should be, considered dangerous or a dangerous opponent. They haven't lost all season long. I was talking to Mo. This reminded me of Glastonbury. We had played in the state finals and hadn't even been scored on all season long, and we scored the only goal to win the state finals. Now, that was a trip for sure. I'm not sure. They should probably have maybe sent that player out as well, but allowing her to play. Kendall with just a little mistrap and trying to save that. I think full speed Kendall maybe would have gotten that, but she did her best.
Either way, these guys, right now it's 4-1. They've got the advantage. Whoa, that's going to be a dangerous ball.
Yeah.
And there's probably a little frustration there. We're a man up right now, so let's control the ball. Let's be poised as opposed to, right now the clock's your friend.
Hey, Guy, you could be a field hockey coach. We were just talking about Eliza, and I have my daughter Kyla's college film, and we have one goal where Kyla had pulled back, sent it to Georgia Cassidy. Georgia scored, and Eliza just falls in the ground in elation, throwing her hands up in the air. And your daughters are just some special girls.
Well,
Guy.
quick shout out to my daughter down at TCU and my son Liza and Mitchell Wazinski. But Liza, all of a sudden, we're watching TV, we're watching the TCU.
ESPN?
On ESPN, sure enough, they scanned the crowd and who's in the front row with a big smile, but my daughter. So it was a fun weekend, even though TC lost to Oklahoma down in Norman.
Yeah, but as she would be right there in the front row.
Shocking. I know she's been so camera shy for a long time.
That's the same thing we do for Notre Dame.
There you go,
every
baby.
Weekend we gotta look for Matt out there.
Go Irish.
Yep.
So you see Darian kind of slightly defensively. They only have they have 4 players behind the line of scrimmage, 6 versus 10 inside this offensive 25. So Darian will have to do quite a bit to generate some type of offense. And I think it's a smart move. They've got 5 minutes remaining on the clock. No harm in playing more defensively. I think if maintaining possession, as you said, Guy, Kiki just sent that ball back. And Carrie Blatney sending that ball out to Kiki, but just again a mistrap. And now Enfield with an opportunity. Number 1, Taylor Giglioni taking the ball in.
Here comes a big hit. She's looking for her sister again and actually got the tip, and Erica Blaze out.
Great save by Erica. And I believe her sister has entered the game again. Yes.
I believe Daphne Cutler also entered the game for the Wave.
So Daphne Cutler coming in, I think, for maybe Kendall Wazinski.
Yep.
She's got to carry this ball 5 yards again. And Darian right there at the edge of the circle to stop her. Looks like she was able to find a foot. So Enfield with a corner here and an opportunity with 4 minutes, 30 seconds remaining on the clock.
Daphne, we've had a couple starters go down. Daphne, Hannah Regal, all these girls who've played a lot this season have really contributed on all sides, offense, defense. But again, they keep going to the well.
Yeah, that's a great insert. And they're looking for a tipper on the side. Oh, just missed.
Boy, I think that save was made by Kiki Tropsa. That's Erica came out.
The Emily Schwartzman, it looked like, was on that corner, and her left shoulder wasn't quite close off to the cage, so the way her body was positioned, she wasn't able to get that ball in. There's another ball going just wide of the cage.
Wide of the cage. Enfield doing a really good job. This is a really, really good team coming down from the Hartford area.
We're just under 4 minutes left in the second half.
Daphne, that was a great job on Enfield. Number 1, again, Taylor, to get a obstruction call. She just moved her body so nicely and was able to catch Daphne's feet not moving. So. And Lily Kolitz we see in the game now as well. So filling in, Darian putting some subs in, again a lead. And I just need to correct myself, that was not Emily Schwartzman. I apologize. That was actually Enfield player Hannah Marsh without her left shoulder being closed off to the cage. Now there's a foul,
Lily has played some quality minutes for the Blue Wave. Now, there's a situation right now. I don't care what the sport is. You got to go to the ball there.
Yes, absolutely.
Didn't see her coming behind her, but just a quick steal, and here comes Enfield.
And it looks like Sally, or is that Lindsay, just tripping a little bit over the ball. There's a save. Great save off the goalkeeper's pads coming, and now Enfield with an opportunity coming in. Just 2 minutes, 51 seconds remaining in the second half. Darian up 4-1. Enfield taking this ball right away.
Hats off to Enfield right there, slicing and dicing our defense. They played the long ball very well here in the second half, and without stellar play by Erica Blaze, this thing this could be awfully close. 4-1 right now. We've got 2:32 left before Darian has a shot to go back to back for the state championship.
Again, Katie Eller's great stick. We're extending that ball ahead, finding Daphne Cutler, and Daphne sending that ball back. A great save by Mazza, but Daphne gets that stick on her backhand, a little bit harder to handle, so the defender has a little bit more of advantage. Just a little bit of a miss by Shea Vanderbrink again.
Really nice play by Daphne Cutler there, though, right there.
Yeah,
Control it. Look at her right now. She's picking her spot.
Yep. Lindsay Wallach right there to help out on defense. And, I think right now you can see Taylor just being frustrated. Let's just get this ball out of our defensive end. 2 minutes remaining. Darien up 4-1. I think Enfield now realizes that they are not going to be able to come back from this deficit. And Darien still trying to remain composed on the field.
Now I'm looking at, we've got actually looks like two more teams they'll be playing after this one. I'm glad we got the earlier game, that's for sure.
Guy, I'm going to say goodbye. I don't like to call an early win with 90 seconds to go on this match. I'm
Kari
very
Johns,
confident.
You rock, young lady. And by the way, set the tone with the national anthem. If anybody could hear it at home or we've seen her live in Darien, she is just spectacular. And, we could see a professional future for you in singing if you weren't on the senior national field hockey team.
Thanks so much, everyone.
Thanks, Kari.
Good evening.
Good night. We have 1 minute left in the Class L semifinals game between Darien and Enfield.
Enfield again continues to play the long ball, finding some seams. But, the Darien defense just collapsed, and a lot of that is heart and hustle. And getting back, even if the ball gets by them, they're just running these things down. But it looks like Enfield will have
another corner, I believe.
A corner coming up. With 30 seconds left to play in this one, it's 4-1 Darien. A trip to Weathersfield on the line.
Send it in.
Oh, Katie Elders, how you doing, man? She has just had one heck of a game. She's peaking at the right time of the season, coming off the overtime goal against Norwalk. You were down on the field for that, right?
They're all coming in hot this game. The defense for everybody. Tropsa, Elders, Waves playing really strong tonight.
Team is healthy. We're going to count it down. 3, 2, 1. We're going to the state finals, baby.
Back to back. The Wave beat Enfield 4-1. They are heading back to Weathersfield for the Class L semifinal or championship. We wait the winner of Staples versus Greenwich. So it'll be an FCAC matchup for the championship.
It's and so again the game. Do we know who won the earlier game between?
We do not. That's a 6 o'clock game, so I'll end an hour later. So
we're 1-1 with those games because we beat Greenwich 1-0 and we lost to Staples 2-1.
Correct.
During the regular season. Again, won the FCAC, which a lot of people will say actually is a bigger deal than winning the state championship.
Exactly.
But everybody likes that state championship. It's a big deal.
Especially going back to back with the FCAC and the state championship. That'll be huge for the Blue Wave.
So, speaking of championships, let's talk a little bit tomorrow, Brendan. I don't know if you're going to be on the mic or if you're going to be producing, but we've got girls soccer tomorrow.
We do.
Darien girls just beat the #1 ranked team in the state of Connecticut.
Up at Suffield,
Up at Suffield.
We played at Fairfield Ludlow tomorrow. You can catch that stream. We'll be doing live at Ludlow, as you said, Mr. Wazinski, but that'll be a big game for the Blue Wave, trying to go back to the championship for both field hockey and soccer.
Awesome. And by the way, Brendan, you're the man. You can call me Guy. I'll call you Mr. Ross.
So before you leave tonight, I think we can all say from our Damian Andrew, final thoughts on this game.
I'll tell you what, they came out to play. They knew what was at stake. A turf they haven't played on before, but they played fast, they played loose, and they played as a team. And that's where we're seeing them. I think they have peaked at the right time of the season, and that goes back to coaching. And where we've really, I think, excelled is in the corners.
Mm-hmm.
Mid-season, not so much. Now they are really taking advantage of those corners, and they're putting that ball in the back of the net.
When you take advantage of those corners, that often leads to you taking that win. So we close it off here at Cheshire High School. The Wave take the win 4-1 over Enfield. They're heading back to Weathersfield for the championship. For Damian Andrew, Brendan Ross, that is me, Guy Wazinski, and
Kari Johns.
We're closing it off tonight. See you tomorrow night at Fairfield Ludlow. So long, everybody.